I think this is it, y'all. All right, welcome everyone to another edition of House Massive. This is the group chat. We only do this on Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m. My apologies, I'm 23 minutes late. This one is only going to go to 3 o'clock. I'm full. I don't have the time that I wanted to give to this today, but I am going to give you some time because this is something that I obligated myself to, and I want to stay on point. I want to welcome anyone that comes on board, anyone that sees this should share this. The group members, there are about 800 group members, and there are somewhere between 50 and 60. Actually, it's closer to 100 now on Meetup. So we need to have a presence in this group, and we need to have a presence when we do these live chats. We need to have a presence when we do our events. When mixes go up, that's when I see people come out because the numbers are consistently good. You know, a mix that I post for House Massive will do anywhere from 500 to 1,000 a week in terms of plays, which may not be a lot, but it's a lot considering I don't promote them beyond originally posting them. I put them in about 20 groups on Facebook. I put them on our Instagram page. I put them on our website. And then they go into rotation on solanaradio.com. House Massive Radio. I'm going all around here. I'm just giving you the introduction to the setup. And then I'm gonna break down what House Massive is about and give you some insight to what's going on right now. So, from the very beginning, House Massive was created in 2008 to embody house music. It's a movement. It started as a mix show, and from the mix show, it became something special in parties and special events. And then it evolved into this. It evolved into an online movement. The group was created in, let's say, the group was created about 10, I'd say about 8 years ago. Well, you know, it's not clear for me because the group has been around for so many years, but it hasn't been a very long time. But it's been enough years that there's traction, there's content that goes back years. I've posted consistently over the years. So, but House Massive as a entity, housemassive.com as a website, as a radio station, as a radio show, it's it's gear. This is one from the Queen. The Queen made this one. It's hot, right? She made that one, and this is something that she did. So what I want to do, what I want to do is have people recognize that we're this is live. This is what happens when you do things live. So anyway, we have in our group we have events that get posted. We have mixes that get posted. We have shows that get posted. And I consistently post in the group each week, but I want to go back to the way I used to do this and post every day because there's so much going on in house music that a weekly or a bi-weekly post doesn't do enough. It doesn't serve the amount of things that's happening with house music. In the background, I'm playing some of the newest songs that are trending in house, but they're in the background and not in the foreground because they cannot be played in these streams. Otherwise, instead of doing this, I would be doing a mix show for all of you. I prefer to just do a mix show as opposed to streaming like this. This is cool, but that's my preference is to be on there. And so anyway, This is going through Facebook, and hopefully I can be able to share this post again in the group after it's done. I did that the first time I did it. I didn't do one last week because some other things were going on, and I wanted to be more prepared, and I am more prepared this time. And every week thereafter, I will be here doing these. I wanted to share with you some of the shows that are coming up. We'll start from the music, we'll work our way through some events, we'll talk about merchandise, and then I'll tell you all the different places you can find all things House Massive. Okay, I'm DJ Freedom, by the way. A little bit about me. I attempted to talk about House Massive before my son came in here, and he's very much a part of my inspiration, as is Queen Martina. That's my family, and all of you are part of my extended family musically. And I appreciate you for 1, 2, 10, or 1,000, however many it comes to being involved in this. This broadcast, by the way, will also be posted to my I'm losing my track here. It'll be posted to my SoundCloud. So with House Massive being what it is from day to day and week to week, housemassive.com is the website. You should go to the site at least once a week, and you should listen to the mix shows either on SoundCloud. SoundCloud is where I put all of my mixes. If you go to mixcloud.com/Solanta Radio, you will also find the mixes of DJs Ghost Cat, Ray Vasquez being reposted, Dion Caesar, aka Soul Tickler, and you will also find other DJs that are joining the fray that I work with and that are part of the House Massive movement. They're not exclusive to this because I don't hold anybody hostage. You know, I'm not about slave deals with DJs or artists, and I'll get to the label part as well. What I do is I partner with everybody that I think is great, musically speaking, bring them onto the platform, and it's a chance for them to express what they do in my house, because this is my house, basically. But in my house, while there is only house music, that is actually not 100% true, because as you can hear in the background, there's remixes of other songs by artists in other genres of music. And that's always been. There's always been R&B in house. There's always been hip hop in house. There was a genre that we used to call hip house in the very beginning, in the early 80s. There's Chicago house if you get into city specific names. There's New York house, there's Miami house, there's, London house, there's global house to just include everybody. And so with the music that we do here in within our house, within House Massive. Like I said, I feature my shows on SoundCloud, and I feature the other DJs that are part of the House Massive movement on Mixcloud. So you can go to mixcloud.com/Solana Radio and hear all of what those DJs do from week to week. I will be uploading new mixes today, right after I get off of this, and then you'll be able to find on House Massive radio wise. If you go to solanaradio.com, you're going to be hearing different DJs on our station. In fact, Ghost Cat's new show with us, his first show will air tomorrow from 10 p.m. to midnight. Every Friday night from 10 p.m. to midnight, Ghost Cat has a show, and I took the liberty of actually adding drops to his show, and I just put the House Massive in there. Ghost Cat, if you're watching this or listening to this, I need you to add the drops to your show, bro, so we can identify you because I don't have a drop specifically for you. And I'm gonna speak to that for a minute. For the DJs who want to be a part of our station, know this: submitting mixes is great. We have a lot of music but we want your music to be recognized. We want you to be recognized when you play your music, whatever it is you're playing. And the only way to do that is by putting your name in the mix, the way you hear me do when I do my mixes. If you don't put your name in the mix, nobody knows it's you. Assume that nobody knows it's you because the only way anyone knows who you are is how. All right, now I'm talking about music right now for the first part of this because it's important that that always be the reason that you come here is to get into a discussion about music and that you recognize some new things that are out musically. I don't want to attempt to cover all of what house music is. You know, there's so many different branches to the tree of house music. There's soulful house, there's disco house, there's afro house, there's classic house, there's beach house, there's tech house, there's EDM, which is still house music, regardless of what some people will say. The purists will say it's not. It's a form of house music, it's a form of house expression. It's more abrasive, it can be more energetic, but then there are aspects of all these other genres that are also very energetic and very upbeat and get you jumping up and down or whatever, however your reaction is to it. So house music is probably one of the broadest genres of music out there. You know, I would say hip hop is a parallel to it in that regard, but there are way more genres within house music purposefully to be inclusive so that anyone who likes dance music, if we just broaden it that way, can be a part of house music and be able to enjoy it the way they see it. If I were to say I loved one more than the other, or if you were to ask me what my favorite one is, I probably lean towards what I'm playing now, which is new disco, disco house, and then the soulful house, and then the Afro house, and and then R&B in the house. I think in that order, those are my favorites, and I play all of them in my shows. So if you watch my different mix posts from week to week, you're gonna find mixes in one of those genres under unique names, but not so unique that it's not identifiable or relatable. You'll see Soulful Things, which is a series I started in 2020. It's Soulful House, simply it's put. It's just what it says it is. And within that, there's different degrees of Soulful House. I do the new stuff. I do my favorite Soulful Things is really all about all forms of soulful house. It sometimes is a little of the R&B side. It's a little bit of the Afro side. It's vocals, it's instrumentals, it's new, it's old, and not old in the sense that they're played out old. It's classic. I'll just say classic. I won't say old. But if it's like this is from the 70s, but you see this is still relevant, and it's made relevant by DJs, artists, by remixers, producers who keep these songs alive for the dance floor because otherwise people might not remember that the new generations wouldn't know the music like that. So I'm happy when I hear these jacked up versions of these songs. You wouldn't know these songs in that way because they get lost and only the older generations are still playing them at certain events that you may go to. But there's and this becomes political because there are separations with the genres. As much as they unite the genre house music, there are subgenres because people like what they like, and people will go out and support what they like, and that's fair. That you wouldn't just go anywhere. But good music should have been, it should have been like Common said, and I borrowed this from one of our hip hop artists, that good music is good music. And it's always been true. Good music should just be good music. It shouldn't matter if it's, you know, in the vein of house or if it's in the vein of soulful house, if it's in the vein of roller skate house, which I'll get into, roller disco, roller boogie, whatever. All of that is inclusive in house music. And what you're hearing me do right now is I'm just playing some of the newest songs, and I'll give you the names and the artists since I'm doing it like this, so you know what's in the background. But I can't put it in the front foreground because, again, I'm on Facebook Live, right, through StreamYard, through on YouTube, all of that. But they flag when you post music that's not yours, and this is not my music. I put that disclaimer out there. When I play my music, I'm not gonna have any restrictions around it. In fact, next week, what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna do this as both a demonstration of what I do as a DJ, and it's also gonna be a demonstration of the fact that this is still a group chat. It's gonna be a chat, but I'm gonna also play music, and I'm only gonna play my music not because I'm biased, simply because I'm biased to myself, but because the powers that be won't allow you to play, even in its creative form. They won't allow you to play other people's music unless you have written permission to do so. And the reason the headphones are on is because the mic seems to pick it up better. So hopefully you are hearing this on Facebook. I'm recording this live also from my SoundCloud as well. And by the way, it's soundcloud.com/ DJ Freedom Lives. That's where you'll be able to hear all of my mixes. I'm saying this again. I'm going to say it a few more times before this is over with so that I make sure that you know. I don't need you to write it down. I need you to put it in your phones. I need you to save that to your home page. If you go to Solana Radio, you can save Solana Radio to your home page on your phone. I have it on mine. Just to show and prove, as I always do. Let me just show you. See my phone? Up this way, right? See? Can't see it so well, right? It's not so clear. Yeah, it's not so clear. You can't see that. All right. So right now, I'm just kind of playing the disco house. What I was actually doing today, before I started this, I was putting together this week's Skate Crates 50. Skate Crates is a brand within the many brands of Mix to Go. And I'll give you a little insight to Mix to Go because I don't want to present what seems to be a confusing array of branding. Mix to Go Music Group is my company, which I founded in 2017. Mix to Go as a concept has been around for many, many years, but I decided to create a company for that because I was doing events and parties and I was doing mix shows and mixtapes and different things around music as a DJ, with me being in the center of it all. And Mix to Go essentially embodies all of them. Within that, House Massive is the one that I pushed out there first, and it's been the most consistent. Like I said, 2008 is when this started, and from those mixtapes and then mix shows online, it evolved into parties with the name House Massive. Here and there, I never really did consistent House Massive events. And then it's been an internet radio show on other people's stations. It's been House Massive Radio in and of itself. In 2020, I started it as a station and inconsistently did it because it requires time, it requires the support of other DJs. I mean, the music, I have the music for days, but I wanted the support of other DJs to submit mixes so you're not just listening to me all day. I mean, I could do mixes all day, but I wanted to have other DJs supporting this. So that's really why I took it down. And then the I relaunched with Solana Radio. My apologies for that. I relaunched with the Solana Radio branding, and I'll get into that in a minute. But let me just go through some of the other Mix to Go brands. There's at one point Mix to Go Radio, and that station is similar to what Solana Radio is today. except that Mixtago Radio was just DJs. 24 hours a day, I had DJs playing every day of the week, and I spent many, many hours putting up mixes of DJs with their permission. DJs I knew, from guys like Shinsky and Ray Vasquez to Jazzy Jeff, um, Lady Styles, DJ Puffy, and a few other guys that I know over the years, DJ AB on the hip hop side. It was Mixtago Radio was really embodying different genres as well. It wasn't just house music. It was DJ driven music. Solana Radio, on the other hand, is a station for house music, R&B, Afrobeat, and sometimes it's hip hop, and but more so roller skate music, which I'll get to in a moment. It's more about all the different genres together, but in a roller skate fashion. Because when you go roller skating, you don't just hear house music or R&B or hip hop. You tend to hear a little bit of everything. But the flow is what makes it work. And only certain DJs really know how to do it. I've gone to different rinks and heard DJs who didn't know how to do it, in my opinion. They were doing it, but they weren't doing it the way I think they should have been doing it. It doesn't matter if you're playing R&B, if you're playing hip hop. When it comes to roller skating, the way you flow, and I do another show on Tuesdays. I'll give you that info in a second. But when it comes to roller skating music, it has to flow a particular kind of way. It can't just be any old thing all over the place. So that being said, skate crates is another genre within the Mix to Go umbrella, and I'm giving you all the different um, visions of what makes the vision for Mix to Go, what it represents. Skate crates, House Massive, Classic Workout, which is also part of House Massive. Actually, it's not really separated because there are times when I do classic workouts on the skate crates. So there's a blending even within what I do. And then there's R&B vibes and there's Mix to Go Afro, which is the Afro beat. And so there you have it. Now, House Massive is why we're here, so let's stay focused on that. As I mentioned, I'm just playing in the background some new things. I said I would give you some of the artists. That last track was by Risk Assessment. It's called Highly Addictive. And by the way, I'm on TrackSource. You can get all of these tracks that I'm playing right now on tracksource.com. Tracks, that's TrackSource.com. That's tracksource.com. Go to TrackSource and get the very best in house music around the world. You can also go to Beatport and buy and or yeah, you're buying the music from them. You can stream like I'm right now. I'm streaming stuff that I don't own. I'm just playing it from their. This is just the sample portal platform, if you will, where you can hear little bits and pieces of things that are new and hot at the moment or whatever. And I happen to like a lot of the stuff that they select as their select for their playlist. Okay, so that was "It's Awful Nice" by DeLucas, Dalukas, because I know if I just say some of these words and names, they won't make sense. Artists are free to express themselves any way they want to, but I always think that if your name is something that is easily, for you to be easily identified with, then you people will relate to you much more quickly. If it has to be too much to figure out, then the mystery can create confusion for me. This is just my take on it. But then artists are artists. They do what they want, and that's what you should be able to do as an artist. So anyway, let's talk about events. Let's move on from music for a minute. There are many, many, many events that are coming up. During the pandemic, there weren't as many parties, there weren't as many events. And for obvious reasons, people were not coming out. People were concerned for their health, for their lives, literally. So now that things are getting back to normal, more so, Although, so if you talk to people who live in certain cities and certain places, they never stopped going out. They never stopped doing their thing. And it's just interesting that now, as the December 2021 comes to an end, I'm seeing more I'm seeing more and more events be planned for 2022. I'm getting comfortable here. And that's a good thing because we had so many people doing virtual events that I was actually thinking that this is something that is going to become the new way that events get produced. It's good for the virtual event thing is good if they sell out of tickets and you want more people to share the experience with you. I don't think that virtual events take the place of being there. Nothing takes the place of being there. This is a newer concept, and there's also a movement of virtual events that aren't even events at all. And I'll just touch on that briefly. I'm talking to one of my partners. Big shout out to Layla, who's in Atlanta, who has presented to me the idea that when I stream my mix shows online, that I also do a virtual version of what I'm doing. And in this virtual world, it is literally virtual reality personified in that there are people, actual people, who have avatars dancing to whatever DJ is playing, and the DJ is an avatar. The music is actually playing the way you hear it. However, the avatars are what you see on the screen. They have different backgrounds. It looks like a club. It can look like you're on the moon. It can look like whatever because it's virtual and it's not real. They use backgrounds of all different kinds. It's very interesting. I took a look at some demos of this. So, with that being said, I wanted to touch on some events that are coming up. I'm not actually controlling this now. This is still track source, but I have songs that I have saved and what I was contemplating buying. So that's what you hear coming up now. These are not the newest. There's a festival called the Polaris Festival that just actually took place. And let me see if I can just pull something up. The problem with doing this way is you won't be able to see it if I show it to you on my phone. And y'all see a little clip from Polaris or Polaris. Yeah, I know, not the very best way to do this, right? That's very, very amateur, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, Polaris took place in November. It's an annual festival, as I'm told. I actually reached out to them, and yes, it is happening every year. Good for you. A really good festival that always happens from year to year is the Defected Croatia event. There's a version of that event called Defected London. Just look up Defected. Follow Defected on Instagram. That's where you'll get all the information about what they're doing. You can also follow TrackSource, which I'm playing from now. Follow what I do on SoundCloud. I said I was going to tell you several times about where you can find me in case you log on late or whatever. You'll be able to get information about my mixes, soundcloud.com/DJ and you're also going to get mixcloud.com, and Solana Radio is there. And our friends who DJ play on that level, on that platform. Some of them use Twitch, some of them use Mixcloud Pro, However you find us, support us. Support your local DJs. It's very, very important that we all support one another. All right, let me go back for a second. The BPM festival takes place next year in Costa Rica. Very nice. January 12th to the 18th. And they also have one that's taking place in Brazil, February 25th to the 22nd. Tickets are already on sale for both. They have stellar DJ lineups. Jamie Jones, I like Jamie for many years. A DJ named Wheats, Serge Devant. Let me see who else they have here. Black Circle, Monroe, Ronnie Sakali. Good DJs. Melissa O, Muan. Yeah, this is good stuff. They have different tents that are gonna be up at this event. They have one called Apollonia. It's too much information to read. I'm just reading from what I have on here. But anyway, wow, this is real big. January 12th to the 18th, they have they have 5 different rooms or tents, and they have other brands branded inside of this event, which is really cool. I love that the different brands work together. I don't see Ministry of Sound in here. Big shout out to them. I don't see Defected in here. I see some of the lounges, Kaluki out of Japan. I see, okay, Rituals. A big shout out to Louis Vega. I'm waiting for him to bring Dance Ritual back to New York. There's the Kappa Future Festival in Italy, in Torino, Italy, July of next year. The first, second, and third, it says. I mentioned the Caprice Festival, which is April 15th through the 17th, and it's in Switzerland, April 8th through the 10th. That's going to be real nice. They don't have their DJ lineup up yet, but tickets are on sale. A lot of times, these festivals just make sure the most important thing they do first is book the venue, and then they line up their DJs as the once the venue is booked. Because what DJs will say, and I know this to be true because I do the same thing, where is it going to be and when is it going to be? And then you can talk about who's going to be on the lineup. Who else do you have on the lineup? You have any big headliners? Because then they know how much to charge you. In any case, that is just a glimpse of the festivals that are coming up. Look and see if I can give you some insight to a few more. Some of the people that I follow on Instagram actually have great events that are coming up. So I'll just go to those I follow, those we follow, because this is Queen Martina and I doing this together. Right, Queen? She was just here, but oh, let me not forget Winter Music Conference. There was a virtual edition in May of this year because they didn't do it in March. They weren't trying to put that out there. However, I'm hoping that they do this next March when it usually happens towards the end of March. Usually it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Ultra will do their festival that weekend. They almost always wait until Winter Music Conference announces. But now, in a ironic twist, the Winter Music Conference is owned by Ultra Music Festival. Same people that own Ultra own the Winter Music Conference. And to some of the purists who were concerned that that would cause some kind of controversy because this primarily EDM minded event would not be the same as it wouldn't provide what the Winter Music Conference always provided, which is a art minded and musically driven event. You know, the Winter Music Conference was a business conference for music of all different kinds. It wasn't called the House Music Conference. It wasn't called even the Dance Music Conference. It's called the Winter Music Conference. But it was primarily dominated by dance music and then house music in the last maybe 10 or 15 years. From that, you had a lot of parties, which are the main thing that people go to Miami for, is the parties. Rightfully so, right? Miami is a warm place to be in March when most other parts of the northern regions are cold. In fact, a good part of Europe is cold. A good part of the northern United States is cold. Chicago, New York, all the northern cities, Toronto. Big shout out to all of y'all. But it would always be at a time when we weren't partying like that. So, what else can I tell you? I know I'm missing some things, right? I want to give a big shout out to some of the people I follow who've been putting out good music, some of the artists. Follow Angela Johnson Music on Instagram. Follow Redness underscore Hayes, Hayes. That's our sister. That's my sister. We actually went to high school together. Same high school, not so much together. Redness is a good sister. She promotes some of the quality events you find going on in New York City. And yeah, that was my son sticking his nosy head in. Follow DJ underscore Todd Love underscore Jam Cam. Follow Ghost Cat International. It's Ghost underscore Cat underscore International. That's my brother right there. Big shout out to Ghost Cat. He's part of the House Massive lineup now. It's official. Follow House Massive on Instagram, of course. Follow local DJ Hero, DEEJAY Hero. That's my brother Soul Tickler for many years. Soul Tickler, Dion and I have been friends for over 20 years. And there were times when I would be doing parties in Houston. When I used to live in Houston, that's the story for another day. When I lived in Houston, my brother used to come and pick me up, bring me to the club, bring me back. Good dude, good DJ, great spirit. Follow Becky, how she writes it, Becklin 718, like Brooklyn. That's pretty slick. BECKLYN 718. Follow Becky. Becky is doing some quality house music events around the New York City area, primarily in Brooklyn these days. She just had Jelly Bean in Brooklyn December 11th. That was last weekend. That was part of her birthday celebration as well. And big happy birthday to my sister Becky. She also, let me see, Becky, you don't have the next one coming up for this week. All right, well, you just have to follow her and find out what she's got going on. Let's see. Okay, I don't see her hashtags coming up. So maybe Instagram is blocking hashtags now because they're doing so much to prevent people from being able to connect. It's ridiculous. Follow Moon Rocket Miami. Moon Rocket is a producer who is also a musician, a remixer, and it appears that he DJs too. He doesn't have any parties on his page listed, but you can find him a lot of times doing this. So anyway, that's what that is. Looks like me in that one, right? Yeah, all right. So that's Moon Rocket Music. I don't know how we got there, but okay. This is about house music. I'll deal with that. By the way, if you want to find out about me and the Skate Crates movement, I'll be doing that. I'll be doing that on Tuesday, every Tuesday from 2 to 3 p.m. as well. And then this is every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. It's been difficult to commit to this time and day because there's always stuff going on with me. However, before I leave you, make sure that every Thursday night from 10 p.m. to midnight or 11 p.m. to midnight, depending on what kind of show I'm doing, you will get a 1 hour or 2 hour mix of commercial free mixing that will feature some of the best new house, pardon me, some of the best new house around. And I do my mixes on the fly, remixes on the fly, and some are pre-made. On Tuesdays, you can hear me do skate crates, which is me playing different genres of music. Some house sometimes is in there. R&B is also in there. Afrobeat sometimes, and so on. But I blend it all together in a really smooth and melodic way. So that's House Massive for today. It's not the whole hour because I started late, and um, that's not going to happen again, right? But for now, housemassive.com, soundcloud.com/DJ Freedom Lives, solantaradio.com is the station. House Massive is where you get all the information about House Massive, about me, DJ Freedom, and about my compadres, Ghost Cat that I mentioned, Dion Caesar, aka Soul Tickler, Ray Vasquez, whom you can also follow by the way, and that's Ray Vasquez with a Z. Let me see if I can just give you the exact spelling of Ray's. Surprised Ray didn't just come up because I follow Ray. Oh, and among other people you should follow, pages you should follow, I should say, Chosen Few DJs, follow them. Follow Quantize Recordings. That's my brother DJ Spin. Quantize is Quantize Recordings. Follow South Soul Records, some of the very best disco. There is a South Soul Records tribute coming later this month in 2 weeks. I've been putting this off for months. I'm really going to do it. I'm going to combine it with Philly Soul together. I may do it live. I want to do it live, and then I'll go back and edit it together a little tighter. Follow Miami Music Week. I'm going to be doing a Miami weekend during the week in March of next year, March 21st to the 24th, 2022, right? Follow DJ Terry Hunter, DJ Terry Hunter on Instagram. I'm just dealing with Instagram, by the way, but you can find them on Facebook also. Follow DJ Spin, DJ underscore Spin, SPEN. Follow DJ Jellybean Benitez. Just as I'm telling you, just the way I'm saying it. Follow Charisma underscore Ktronic with a K, all with K's. Charisma, KARIZMA underscore KAYTRONIK, excuse me, Charisma Ktronic. And then follow at Jazz Official. I did a 4-hour tribute to at Jazz in November of 2021, in case this happens to be watched at another time. That's called Celebrate at Jazz. It was one of the my favorite Soulful Things series, and you can get that on my SoundCloud.com/DJ Freedom Lives. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that means it's almost time to wrap up. Okay, Crystal Waters. Crystal Waters. How ironic that I'm passing through people you should follow and her song comes up. And this is Party People in the background. Follow Groove Culture on Instagram. Follow The Real Mike Dunn. Follow DJ Kenny Dope. What's up, Kenny? Follow DJ Todd Terry. Follow Louis Vega. Follow the BPM Festival. Follow Nervous Records. Amsterdam Dance Event. I'm putting the word follow in front so you can separate these words and not cluster them. Follow Kaytranada. KAYTRANADA. Follow Glitterbox Ibiza. It's Glitterbox Ibiza, even though Glitterbox is just wonderful. Good disco house. Follow Melba One Number One More, MOORE, because Melba has a phenomenal song called Just Do Me that was remixed by our brother DJ Terry Hunter that you definitely want to get. Follow Track Source. I'm just giving you the house pages, the house people and the house pages. Defected Records, everything Defected under Defected Records. And that is all I want you to follow. There's others like the Shapeshifters, there's Joey Negro, there's Danny Crivet. I'm not following them, I'm just telling you to follow them because I already know about them and I look for them in other pages and other places. Oh, and I mentioned DJ Ray Vasquez. His name on Instagram is DJ Ray Vaz. DJ R-A-V, pardon me, DJ RAYVAZ. Okay? Don't ever say I didn't plug y'all in. Okay? Now you know. So that's all. That's everything you need to know about what's happening with house music for the day. There's always more. Oh, and follow Queen Martina. Her page is Martina's Designs. MARTINADESIGNS. Queen Martina is who you hear giving the wonderful voiceover work on all of my mixes. She's a phenomenal human being who I love very dearly, and I end with this because if it wasn't for her, I more than likely wouldn't even be sitting here right now. I gotta be honest with you. This is a shirt she made that is just beautiful. She just took something that was an idea and turned it into something magnificent. It's even shining and glittering in this little thing that I'm showing you. That's Queen Martina. So I think I've said all I can say. Don't forget to listen tonight from 11 to 12. I do 1 hour tonight. Next week it'll be two from 10 to 12. If you miss anything, you can always either go to my soundcloud.com/DJ Freedom Lives or you can go to solanaradio.com, housemassive.com. Follow us on Instagram at DJ Freedom Lives, at House Massive, at Martinez Designs, and at Skate Crates as well. Don't forget to go to Spotify. This is really important because when you listen to the mixes, you don't always know what you're listening to unless you go to my playlist on SoundCloud and then you can see what the songs are. The Spotify playlists are a way for you to know exactly what I'm playing, okay? And to know what you should be listening to that's new in house music. I do a House Massive playlist. It's 40 songs. It's very, very well put together. I take my time. I don't just randomly throw songs in there. It's the very best of house music right now. 40 songs. You can go to the previous list. I actually did one in September that was 100 songs, and I actually ended up putting 120 songs in that playlist. But you can get all of the music there. Skate Crates playlists are there. If you like Afrobeat, you can get my Afrobeat playlist there. And later today and tomorrow, the Skate Crate playlist for December will be up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I will see you all again soon. This is DJ Freedom signing off. That's it for now.